My name is LaNara, and I am a solutions consultant at Accolade. I started my career at Accolade as a health assistant, so I was actually the person taking the messages and the phone calls from our members. And in my role now, I speak to prospective customers about Accolade services. So our internal system notified one of our nurses that one of our members was recently hospitalized for a GI bleed and that she would benefit from some contact with Accolade and seeing how we could support her. Our nurse was able to reach out to her via phone call to discuss her hospitalization, her discharge, and just to check in to see if she had any ongoing symptoms. During our interaction with this member, we learned that while she was in the hospital being treated for her GI bleed, that they discontinued some of the medications that she was on, her diuretic, her high blood pressure medication. Since being discharged, she was still having shortness of breath, she was having some swelling, so we really wanted to help advocate for her, encourage her to reach out to her primary care physician and to schedule a same-day appointment so that he could understand her symptoms. She was able to get that same-day appointment, but unfortunately the doctor mentioned that he wasn't very concerned about her shortness of breath due to her anemia. And so she had been prescribed and discharged with oxygen, and that was all that they were doing for her. As we talked to her, we learned that she was having trouble going up the stairs. She had to sit at an incline in order to sleep. And so we encouraged her to follow up with her doctor, and our nurses actually followed up with the doctor directly to discuss her symptoms and to encourage them to take another look at them. After we reached out to the primary care physician, they were able to get her scheduled for another appointment so they could reevaluate her breathing and some of her symptoms such as the swelling. They were able to get her started on a diuretic again, which the hospital had taken her off of as part of her discharge. So about a month later, the patient discontinued use of her oxygen tanks that she was discharged with from the hospital. But unfortunately, her symptoms of shortness of breath and trouble lying down returned. She was sleeping at an incline, she had trouble walking up and down stairs, and we found out that when the doctor did her breathing assessment, they didn't check for these things. We decided that it would be really helpful to have another conversation with her primary care physician and her pulmonologist, make sure they understood the change in her medications, the shortness of breath she was having, her trouble with inclines. Unfortunately, this member had a couple of barriers to care. She wasn't able to get through to her doctors with her symptoms, and she was really nervous about her quality of life and how she'd be able to get around with an oxygen tank. Accolade was able to have some of those conversations on her behalf with her physicians to make sure that they understood the severity of her concerns, and also to call around and make sure that we were able to get her a portable device so that she is able to travel and that oxygen tank doesn't become a barrier to care or a barrier to her lifestyle. 3 months later, this member was diagnosed with COVID, and she had a fall where she actually bruised 2 of her ribs and was hospitalized. In addition to making sure that she got the support that she needed with dealing with the COVID and dealing with the bruised ribs, we also made sure that we helped guide her on how to get work accommodations so that she's able to work while she's undergoing her healing process. During her recovery, Accolade was able to help the member start with pulmonary rehab. We were also able to assist her with any claims questions that she had following her hospitalization, her portable oxygen device, and her follow-up visits with her providers. Accolade was able to inform the member of work accommodations which could support her return to work following her illnesses. We were able to help have a conversation with her on how to reach out to her HR department and submit the request for the work accommodations, which they approved. When members have complex conditions, and oftentimes more than one, we're really trained to make sure we understand how we can best support them. Sometimes it's helping with one condition before you can help with another. Sometimes it is making sure that they have the right doctors who are communicating with each other and the member really understands their conditions and can help be an advocate for themselves. I think that if there are members out there who don't feel that they're getting the care that they need, reach out to us. We are happy to advocate on your behalf, to teach you how to advocate with your doctors. No one knows your body and your symptoms like you do. And so having a conversation with us and helping us help you with your provider is the best way to get the care that you know you deserve.